You may be seated. Anyone is welcome to record this meeting, provided they do not disturb the conduct of the meeting. More information is available in the agenda. I would like to remind everyone present that this meeting is being filmed and made available to view in live and archive form via the Council's website. If you are seated in the public gallery, it is possible that the cameras may capture your image. If you wish to avoid being filmed, it is recommended that you make a member of staff aware and they will direct you to where to sit. The Westgate Gardens gate are locked after sunset, and members of the public should leave the Guildhall by the side exit behind the glass door. Should the fire alarm sound, please leave through the nearest safe exit. The assembly point will be Tower House car park. Do we have any apologies, please?
Yes, Lord Mayor, we have apologies from Councillors Carnack, Naomi Smith, Dawkins, Heaver and Flanagan.
Thank you, Vanessa. I'll call for a nomination by councillors for the election of the Lord Mayor for the council year 2026 to 2027. Can I have a seconder, please?
Lord Mayor, propose.
Lord Mayor, seconded.
Thank you.
I think I should add
Yes.
Alistair Brady.
Okay. Thank you. And I'd now like to invite the nominating Councillor Park Edwards and Tom Mellish to approach the lectern to address the council in turn.
Are we? Lord Mayor and fellow councillors, I wish to nominate Alistair Brady for Lord Mayor of Canterbury City Council for 2026-27. Alistair's lived in Canterbury since 1988 in both city and rural areas and was educated locally. He has represented residents at Kent County Council and Canterbury City Council since 2021. He currently resides in Upper Harbledown with his family. He had a career as an air steward for 21 years, making it to manager of the cabin team. He then decided to retrain through studying at Kent University and achieved a first-class degree in philosophy and politics in 2021. 2021 was a momentous year for Alistair, when in addition, Alistair was elected to represent Canterbury City North at Kent County Council for the area where he grew up, and it was the year his son was born. Election as a Canterbury City Councillor for Chartham and Stone Street, where he lives today, followed in 2023, and re-election to KCC in 2025. When travelling the world, Alistair was able to follow his love of scuba diving in beautiful locations and keep very fit. Nowadays, he's a hands-on dad and a family man who can be regularly seen at weekends, litter picking, including in the Stour, planting trees in various locations, including Kingsmead Fields, Neil's Place Meadows, St John's Primary School, and assisting in setting up and funding junior park runs in Story Road Community Park. 64 young people attended the last park run. He supports the Chartham Food Pantry, and he floated the idea and funded the Men's Shed in Northgate. He also helped implement 20 miles per hour in St Stephen's and a pedestrian crossing outside Archbishop's School, plus parking and path improvements in St Dunstan's. He puts energy into all these aspects of his life and sets out to involve others and improve the environment for the community to enjoy. But a warning to the civic team. For his 40th birthday, he hired a canal boat for a week and sailed up and down the London canals with friends and family. One evening, Alistair and friends were running slightly late for a restaurant booking, so they moored up and were talking and rushing. It's October. Alistair was at the front and turning down a pitch-black pathway between a couple of houses. It was completely dark with no streetlights. He was busy talking to the friend, and she turns to say something, and he stepped forward into the canal. He was wearing a three-piece suit, completely submerged in the water. He popped up like a cork and quickly got out of the very cold water. To this day, some of his friends say it's the funniest thing they've ever seen, and it is definitely his clumsiest moment. Alistair's 50 this year, so for the safety of the Lord Mayor's chain and his dignity, it's probably best the Civic team not arrange any events this October near the River Stour for safety reasons. His commitment to family, friends and community is evident in all these actions. In his councillor work more generally, Alistair's challenging reform policies and budgets daily at KCC. He supports and scrutinises the same policies and budgets through thoughtful and effective comments in committees at Canterbury City Council. I commend Alistair to you as Lord Mayor, as I'm sure he'll make as real an impact in this civic role as he has in his councillor role and as his predecessors have in the last 3 years. Thank you.
We are of different heights. Let us go. Anyone? That's this extra. It's the story of my life. Look.
Don't touch it.
Thank you very much. What a way to start a speech. Beautiful. And as ever, as you get older, glasses. Lord Mayor, I am very pleased to be able to second the nomination of Councillor Alistair Brady as Lord Mayor of Canterbury City Council. Alistair approaches his work as a councillor with dedication, yes, but also with grace and humour, a humour which times can be very dry and hits you several minutes after the witticism has been spoken. That dedication comes with a fierce commitment to the work of Canterbury City Council. Alistair is always looking to ensure that the council does the best it can for the residents of Canterbury, not just for the present, but long term, looking for the better future for all. That commitment to the residents of Canterbury he will bring to the work of Lord Mayor. And being Lord Mayor is a commitment. I know that when I was Sheriff alongside Councillor Butcher's time as Lord Mayor, I, along with my consort Fred Pearce, were doing around about 350 engagements a year, while Jean's were over 400. You will, Alistair, if you become Lord Mayor, be meeting the vast array of organisations, both formal and voluntary, that keep this district going. You will meet the numerous societies that represent the numerous communities that make up Canterbury, and in doing so, you will meet some brilliant people. You will love it. You'll be exhausted, but you will love it. There'll be any number of dinners and lunches. You will not stay the skinny thing you are at the moment. And of course, you can say goodbye to Easter and Christmas at home with your family. Hope you realise that, don't you? But in your time as an airline steward, you will have had to face all sorts of situations. But if you are feeling a little bit questioning about being the Lord Mayor, maybe too daunting, then the exits are being pointed out to you now, and be aware that some might be behind you. But back to the present. As a Labour Group Whip, I have found that your commitment to service has been that I have not had to worry about your attendance at meetings or asking you to cover for absent friends and colleagues. There's always a positive response. You bring a positivity to the meetings of the Labour Group, as well as the debates in this chamber, and you will respond positively to the demands of being Lord Mayor that will be placed on you. I really look forward to seeing what you will achieve during your term as Lord Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mellish and Councillor Edwards. Vanessa, please can we take a vote?
That's carried, Lord Mayor. 32 for, none against and 1 abstention.
Thank you. Can I now invite Councillor Brady as elected as Lord Mayor 2026 to 2027 to approach the lectern?
I, Alistair Brady, having been elected to the office of Lord Mayor of the City of Canterbury, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thirteenth.
13th.
Unlucky for some.
Good start.
It's not Friday.
I will now ask those present to please stand.
Just wait.
Please be seated. So, you good? Before anything else, I want to begin by paying tribute to two of the outstanding Lord Mayors who have gone before me. Jean Butcher and KG Moses. I have enormous respect for you both and for the incredible work you've carried out across the district. You have served Canterbury with genuine commitment, compassion, care, and I will do my very best to build on the strong foundations you have laid. Jean, the work you have done within our communities is truly invaluable, and KG, your dedication to young people is nothing short of inspiring. It is a real honour to be here today, and I'm profoundly grateful to my fellow councillors and to the people of Canterbury for giving me the opportunity to serve as Lord Mayor. I'd like to also take this moment to thank my family and friends for your constant support. To my partner Magali, who will be my Lady Mayoress for the year, thank you for your unwavering encouragement and belief in me. To my son Ethan, who gives me purpose and reminds me every single day why what we do truly matters. And to my mum, Jane Brady, who will be my escort for the year. You are always there for us whenever we need you, and we couldn't do this without you. My sincere thanks also go to all council officers and the civics team. I greatly value the work you do, and I look forward to working more closely with you over the coming years. Community means a great deal to me. Canterbury is not just somewhere I work, it is where I live, where I belong, and where so many of my most important connections are rooted. It is a place defined by kindness, resilience, and people looking out for one another. And that is something I am immensely proud to represent. During my year as Lord Mayor, I look forward to working closely with our local groups and businesses, from independent traders to our rural, agricultural and coastal communities, all of whom play a vital role in the unique character and prosperity of Canterbury, Whitstable, Herne Bay and our villages. I'm also deeply passionate about supporting and inspiring young people, helping them to feel confident, valued and hopeful about their future right here in our district. This year, I'll be supported by a cadet selected from within the Canterbury District Army Cadet Unit. I'm very pleased to announce that this year's Lord Mayor's chosen charity is the Kent Neurotherapy Centre, which provides life-changing support to people living with neurological conditions. These conditions can have a profound impact on daily life, not just for those diagnosed, but for everyone around them. This cause is deeply personal to me and very close to my heart. I've seen firsthand the difference that care, therapy and understanding can make. Working alongside the centre to spread their message of support and compassion across the Canterbury District will have a lasting impact on people's lives. Being able to help make a real, tangible difference means a great deal to me. I will close by sharing two invaluable pieces of advice that KG gave me about this role. Do not forget that people will remember how you made them feel, and whatever you do, enjoy it. So, I look forward to serving Canterbury District as your Lord Mayor with dedication, collaboration, compassion, a great deal of pride, and hopefully quite a lot of fun. Thank you. Once again, I would like to thank the outgoing Lord Mayor, KG Moses. You were an incredible mayor and an inspiration. I would like to invite you to the lectern to present you with the past Lord Mayor's badge. It's sweet.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to start by reading a quote from Henry Ford, which reads, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success." When you do things alone, you can do so little, but together we can do so much. And those words beautifully capture what I have witnessed throughout my year as Lord Mayor. Over the course of this year, I have had the privilege of attending over 291 events across our district. And through every event, every conversation, every act of kindness, one thing has stood out clearly to me. Community is the heartbeat of our city. I have seen people work together in the most extraordinary ways. I have seen individuals freely give their time to care for and preserve our environment for future generations. I've seen organizations and volunteers support vulnerable residents with compassion and dignity. I've seen people ensure that families who are struggling have somewhere to go, someone to speak to, and food on the table. I've also seen businesses, despite facing their own challenges, continue to give generously to charities, community groups, and important causes. These acts do not happen by accident. They are possible because our shared values and because we are reminded that we're all human. Our humanity gives us the agency to choose kindness, empathy, compassion, and service. These are the values that make our city stand out like a city of light on a hill. This is a great deal. There's a great deal of things happening in the world. We only need to turn on the television to see the uncertainty, instability, and division. But what I found and what I have heard from many people across our district is that our communities need stability. It is within stability that people are able to find their own footing, rebuild confidence, and move forward with hope. I hope that through the East Kent Mind Wellbeing Ambassador Initiative, we have been able to provide some stability. The initiative has created a space for people to develop skills, confidence, and tools to care for their own well-being first, to put on their own mask first, and fill their own cup, and then have the capacity to support others. I'm incredibly proud that Simon and the team have now recruited 140 wellbeing ambassadors, and 120 of them are young people in their 20s. These ambassadors are now part of our growing community of people who can support one another and the wider community. Even more encouraging is that this initiative is now part of our secondary schools across the district, creating a lasting legacy for future generation. And as I reflect on this year, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has supported me on this journey, to my friends and families, to Lawrence, Joshua, and Nathan. Thank you for your encouragement, patience throughout the year. To the dedicated civic team, Vanessa, Emma, Mark, Dawn, Michael, and John. Thank you for all your hard work behind the scenes. None of what has been achieved this year would have been possible without your commitment and support. And to Mrs. Reid, thank you for agreeing to walk this journey with me last year and throughout this year. Your support has made an immense impact, and I'm deeply grateful. It has also been a pleasure working along Steph, our wonderful selfie queen, and Mrs. Old. And to my chaplain, Joan, thank you for your prayers, encouragement, wisdom, and steady support throughout the year. I'd also like to say thank you to my predecessor, Councillor Jean Butcher. It has been a privilege to follow in your footsteps and continue to serve the people of Canterbury. I would also like to thank the senior leadership team of the council and my fellow councillors for your support and commitment to serving our communities. And a special thank you to the Canterbury Beat and Dean David and the staff of Canterbury Cathedral for their continued partnerships throughout this year. Finally, to the incoming Lord Mayor, and Lord Mayor now, and Councillor Brady, I wish you every success for your mayoral year. May it be filled with purpose, service, connection, and moments that remind you just how special this city is. Thank you very much. Mrs. Reid, would you like to come and get your gift? Thank you very much for your support this year. Thank you. To my chaplain, Joe, would you like to come over? And of course, Ed. Come over, Ed.
I call for a nomination by councillors for the election of Sheriff of the Council year 2026-2027.
I'd like to propose Steph Dupe, Lord Mayor.
And can I have a seconder, please?
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. I invite Councillor Ricketts as the proposer and Councillor Sol as the seconder to approach the lectern to address the council.
We've got it set to Mellish. I'm going to go Oasis with it now. Thank you, Lord Mayor. And may I just say congratulations on your office. You have a lot to live up to, not least in the sartorial stakes. Congratulations, Kedgie, the only person who can take off the Lord Mayor's robes and be more bling. So I would like to propose that Steph Dupe carries on as sheriff for the next year, as she did last year. And in looking at what to say tonight, I looked back on my speech last year, and aside from some weak jokes about Wild West sheriffs, the one thing that stood out was that I said I thought she would make an absolutely excellent sheriff. And I think she's exceeded even my high expectations of her. She has absolutely done brilliantly in the role. Unfortunately, though, I now have to say nice things about her for the second year in a row, and that's not particularly easy for me. It's not really our relationship. Luckily, I happen to know one of her biggest fans, and I asked her what to say, and this is my 8-year-old daughter, Flossie. And she told me what to say. She said, tell them that she's kind. Tell them that she's thoughtful. Tell them that she has great ideas. And tell them that she makes Canterbury a better place. She absolutely did. She then said, and if you don't tell them that, when I'm 18, I won't vote for you. But I will vote for Steph. And I think she summed it up. And I think that's absolutely true of so many people who meet Steph. That there are people like my daughter who will make sure that if Steph's still around in 10 years' time, she'll be getting their votes when I definitely won't be. I mean, what child would ever vote for their father, to be fair? And I think it's obvious when you see her out sheriffing, her commitment to the community is the smiles on the faces of the people that you meet are matched only by the massive beaming grin on Steph's face when she's out there doing it. She loves it. She's born for that role. And she's absolutely brilliant at it. And you can't fake what she does when she goes out there. She loves meeting those people. It's her favourite part of the job. And she loves finding out about all of those places she goes, being whatever it's a charity, whether it's an institution, wherever she is, she loves to find out about it. She loves to take a selfie with them, and she loves to tell us all about it as well. So I have absolutely no doubt that she will continue in this role and possibly even get better and better. And when the news seems to be competing with itself every day to get worse and worse, to pour more used nappies on the bin fire of our politics, civic roles are so important in that. And I think both of our potential, I bear in mind the vote's not happened for Steph yet, I think that our civic team, they have worked really well together in the past on the meadows that they work really closely on. I think they'll be a fantastic civic team. But when everything seems to be bad, these apolitical roles, having somebody like Steph, when councillors up and down the country seem to be doing everything to destroy public trust in the role, having Steph turn up to a primary school and spread joy with those kids and win those votes for 10 years' time is so important. Be that for all of us, to bring that trust back. And actually, it made me think maybe it is like the sheriffs in the Wild West, when the cattle rustlers have turned up and the villains are taking over the town. What do you need? You need a sheriff. You need a sheriff to put a smile back on the townsfolk's faces, and the village folks and the city folks. And that's what Steph will do. So I commend her to you.
I'm delighted to second Steph to be Lord maybe 1 year, sheriff for a second time. Steph is the only woman in the Lib Dem group, and it can't be easy working with 7 men. But to every event that she brings, wit, intelligence, insight, experience, guidance, common sense, and most importantly, cake-making skills. With these attributes, there can be no one better to keep the Lord Mayor in check for the next year. As Sheriff, Steph has had a super busy year, popping up everywhere, lighting up a room, setting people at ease, and just being Steph. Last year, I was at Addisham Country Fair when I caught a glimpse of her chains glistening in the sunlight. Unfortunately, so did the organiser of the first event in the roped-off area. Steph and I were paired up and given an egg. We had to throw the egg towards each other, first gently underarm, and then take a step back, and continue to throw this as the gap got wider and wider. What started off as a nice gentle throw quickly became Steph believing she was playing for Kent on the boundary, as she launched the egg towards me, and I would be trying to catch it like a wicket keeper, but without any of the protection. This continued for some time until Steph leapt up to catch an egg. The shell went everywhere and the yolk and white dripped down into the civic chains of office. That probably explains some of the jewellery cleaning bills this year. It wasn't over though. We were soon handed another egg, and this time it was Steph who got to throw it at me, and I caught it or didn't catch it, and I too was covered in egg. But Steph certainly hasn't ended up with egg on her face this year. You know I can't resist a pun. And indeed, she has been the most excellent sheriff. And I'm sure that she will continue to be so. And I wish her all the best for the forthcoming year.
I'll wait for Mike to sit down, so we might need the final vote. Vanessa, please, can you take the vote?
And that's carried 33 for and 1 abstention.
I was the abstention.
There we go.
Thank you, Vanessa. I invite Councillor Steph Duke to approach the lectern, squeaking microphone, and to read and sign the statutory declaration of acceptance of office to the Joint Chief Executive.
Sorry, microphone.
You know what you're doing.
I declare that I take office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. And I now just sign it. 13th, yeah? Imagine if I just put the wrong date for fun. There we go. Can I keep the pen?
No.
I now invite all those present to please stand.
I'm probably supposed to process out, but I don't.
Just twirl around and then just come back again. I think that's... Please sit down. The sheriff will now express their thanks to the council and announce their escort.
So I've saved us about 5 minutes there. Again, I've written a speech and fortunately I get to use it. Thanks everyone, much appreciated. And I'm going to try and keep to it, but like Ricketts, also it's deeply uncomfortable to hear Ricketts and Mike be so nice about me. So I'm glad it's only an annual thing. So thank you for trusting me with the sword and stick again. I watched back last year's meeting as well to gather content for this speech, and I did write a speech last year, but I don't think I stuck to it in any way. Lee and Alex mentioned in their speeches that I could be considered troublesome or unruly, but also quite keen on fairness and justice. Alex also described how I like to chat. My pain in the bum but congenial status has been evidenced throughout the year. A memorable occasion is when welcoming the new Archbishop of Canterbury to the cathedral after her pilgrimage, fab day, and she was walking really fast. I was at the back because I'm really slow and I was chatting. And then everyone that is at the cathedral gathering to listen to her at the stone, and Vanessa just turned around because she remembers. Everyone's gathered to listen to Dean David and the Archbishop. I'm chatting to someone about their dog. In fact, it was probably Paul Prentice, actually. You had the good trainers. Yeah. Vanessa realises I'm not where I'm supposed to be, grabs me by the wrist and shoves me through the crowd to put me to where I'm supposed to be. I take a stupidly long time to get through a crowd because I chat to everyone. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. If I'm not where I'm supposed to be, it's because I've been on a side quest. Looking at something someone wants to show me or meeting someone else. I managed to march at the front of St George's Day Scouts Parade. I rode on a pride float in Whitstable Carnival, and I got on a boat in the duck race. And it was all because of those side quests. I wouldn't have got to do that if I didn't get to chat, and I'm so grateful I do that. I do seem to avoid the script and talk a bit much, but it's not necessarily a bad thing for a sheriff to be, as has Mike and Alex being nice to me as evidence. Apparently it goes quite well. I've been excitedly grinning while I probably should be looking dignified walking down the aisle at graduation ceremonies and various other events at the cathedral, the Archbishop's installation, etc. I took a selfie with the new Archbishop after she was announced, got into a fountain to help an elderly dog out, and I threw an egg at Mike Sole, and it hit him. I don't remember it hitting me, but yeah, who am I to question? So I've had some lovely comments from people who say I'm clearly enjoying myself and how much they appreciate that I take the time to talk to everyone. And my social media commentary is always really well appreciated, because while it doesn't make light, it does make it look a little bit more fun. And I'm having fun. So I was not willing to give up the chains just yet, because I really enjoyed all of it. I'm really happy to be there and think it's just incredible that I get to do all of this. So you really do, as Keji said in her speech, only get to see the best of people. And this district is filled to the brim with volunteers going above and beyond. I've met some incredible people from our community. Where am I? I've been asked what my favourite event has been. A lot, actually. And the installation ceremony, while epic and hell of a year to be sheriff for it, it was the community stuff that really meant the most. So, I mean, the Umbrella Centre events, the Herne Bay Festival Fun Day with our colleague Liz Harvey. Thank you for inviting me. Supporting my friend Crystal's Taiwanese school, the Cubs and Beavers, the medieval pageant, Jack in the Green with the Whitstable Lions Club and Morris Dancers, which I also had a go at. I promise they're really lovely people. All the village fairs and listening to the beautiful singing of the Canterbury Chamber Choir performing to raise money for Catching Lives. I really recommend the Canterbury Chamber Choir. They've put in sterling work. It's world class. So this is less of an acceptance speech and more of a report on the sheriffing I've done. So yeah, I'm really happy to be doing another year, and I'll speak to you again in a year's time to give my report again. So I shall get on to the thank yous. So obviously, first and foremost, couldn't have done this all, and I couldn't do it again without Lakshmi as my sidekick. I introduce her as my grown-up to people, as if I need a carer. But actually, her quiet stoicism in her dignified way matches my, whatever you call my, so perfectly, and she is spot on. And last year, after watching my speech, I realised last year she completed the London Marathon the week before. In a few weeks' time, she's completing the Edinburgh Marathon. So, go on, Lakshmi. The civic team are also the best civic team that there ever was or ever will be. Keji's already named you all, but so you know who you are. But a special mention goes to Emma, who was only 6 weeks into the role last year and has made the job her own this year. It's been incredible. Her dedication is worthy of more than a mention in the weekly newsletter. So it needs to be on record. Graham, note that down. So where have we got? Keji and Carol as teammates, thank you as well. I've really enjoyed helping you champion East Kent Mind. Mental health issues can affect us all and is a wonderful cause with wonderful people. It's really been great to work with Simon. The energy he puts into that role, you want him as a fundraiser, and he does fantastic work for Mind. And congratulations on smashing your ambassador target. That is a legacy that will continue forever. It's more than just money, it's about what you're doing. Huge public hugs and kisses to my 2 children who are over there and who have occasionally acknowledged that something I'm doing might be considered cool. Thanks to Josh, who messaged me last year when I became sheriff, offering help and advice as the Mayor of Faversham and ended up as my partner. His help and advice was never going to be listened to, but I pretended to want it. I also want to say hi to Esme, who I know is watching this online. And so, hi, Eddie. And thanks to my ex-husband's wife, too. Bit of an unusual thanks, but without her reliable childcare, I would not be able to do what I do. So get well soon, Mimi. My friends as well for their constant encouragement, and obviously you, my fellow councillors, for your continued support and your work in the community. So, job done. Emma, the fabulous, who is there, by the way, everyone meet Emma, has got me flowers to present to Mrs. Lakshmi Holt. I know. You can, she's blushing. You don't need to hug her.
And I've just been nudged to give you some flowers, Steph. So
Thanks.
here's to the past year and to an incredible year moving forward.
I didn't actually note my congrats to Alistair actually in my speech, because obviously I didn't know who it was going to be, so I wasn't going to be saying it and typing it this afternoon when I did my speech at 4 p.m. But congratulations, and we genuinely are going to make a smashing team. We do work well together, and as long as you don't make my Tourette's go nuts, it won't be a problem.
Thank you. Now we can release everybody to go to the beanie. We've got some items and some work to do. So if we'll have a short adjournment, then if everybody makes their way down to the beanie, there'll be some refreshments for you there, and we will join you after about 9 items. Thanks for that. But yeah, after about 9 items. So we'll see you all there. Thank you. ready to live stream. Thank you. We're going to go on to item 13, confirmation of arrangements in respect of the Cabinet. I'd like now to invite the leader of, to announce the size and composition of the Cabinet and Cabinet committees.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. So, we'll just stand up the first time. As we used to do. So, okay, those of you. Anyway, thank you, Lord Mayor. So, it's my pleasure to inform you of the decision for the makeup of the Cabinet and the committees. We have a Cabinet proposed of 6 members. So the numbers of the deputy leader of this council is Pip Hazelton, and I'm obviously leader. Members of the Cabinet are Pip Hazelton as deputy leader. Leader is myself. And I'll be looking after strategy and finance. Pip Hazelton will be looking after housing and planning. Chris Cornell, economic development and regeneration. Charlotte Cornell, council services, culture and heritage. Connie Nolan, community safety, engagement and enforcement. And Mel Dawkins, environment and sustainability. On this particular note, I'd just like to obviously particularly reach out to the new chairs of committees, which we deal with shortly. We've decided as a Cabinet that we need to make sure that you have a place to go to a Cabinet member that you can reach out to get explanations, information, to talk through agenda items that are coming on your committee with a Cabinet member. And I will circulate around to all group leaders, those Cabinet members that will be looking after the particular committees that you will be looking after or be part of. So I think that's the right way to go. Obviously in the administration where the chairs were part of the same team, that happens anyway. It's not going to happen now. So I'll just make sure that you have somewhere to go, that you can get explanations if you need them on any agenda items that are coming onto your committee. Okay. So, next is point 2, which is to note the appointments and nominations of the executive bodies set out of that. So that is the Companies Advisory Committee. That will be 6 members, and that is in our political balance. So that will be as normal on a committee of this size. There'll be 3 Labour, a Liberal Democrat, Conservative, and a Green. And the Companies Advisory Committee is the same, and the housing is the same political balance, and those 2 committees there. So the names will be agreed in the next part of the agenda. Also, in this part of the briefing, if you like, is to note the delegation of officers as agreed by the leader in relation to executive functions and incorporated into the scheme of delegation as set out in Part 8 of the Constitution. So in essence, that's business as usual. So in this briefing, I've explained to you who the Cabinet are, what the Cabinet members' briefing is, or what the Cabinet members' portfolio is, and also the 2 Cabinet committees, Cabinet Companies Advisory Committee and the Housing Committee, and their makeup in number of members, as well as explaining that officers can carry on as normal under the delegated duties. So I'd just ask you to note that, and if it's okay with you, we'll go with general assent on that item.
We can note that by general assent. And that's carried. We now move on to item 14, announcements. I don't have any announcements as Lord Mayor, but I invite the leader, Cabinet members, or the Chief, Joint Chiefs of Executives to see if they've got any announcements. We don't have any sign of any announcements, so we move on to item 15. So I'd like to invite the leader to propose and the deputy leader to second approval of the minutes of the annual full council meeting of the 15th of May 2025. And this will be by a recorded vote.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. To approve and receipt and adoption the minutes of the AGM on the 15th of May 2025. That's my proposal.
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
And that's carried unanimously, Lord Mayor.
Thank you, Vanessa. Item 16, representations of political groups on committees. I'd like to invite the Joint Chief Executive to speak to explain a correction to the published political balance calculation.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Members are advised that there is a correction to the published political balance calculation in that the Green Party allocations should be 2 seats on scrutiny and 1 seat on overview rather than the reverse. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite the lead to propose the recommendation under item 16 in the agenda and then seek a seconder.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. So I propose that the council appointments appoint the council's committees, joint committees and boards as set out in the agenda that we've all got a copy of, I hope. And second point is the council agrees the representation of political groups on committees as set out in the political balance calculation as appended to the report. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Vanessa, please can we take the vote?
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
There's a seconder. Done a vote. Brilliant. Should we move on?
That's carried unanimously, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Item 17, appointment of members to committees and boards. I'd like to invite the leader to propose the recommendation under item 17 in the agenda and then seek a seconder. One of the joint chief execs will speak first.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I think we've got different versions of this. Members will note that Councillor Peter Campbell is shown in the supplement as nominated for chair of the CGR working group. For clarity, working groups appoint their own chair and vice chair at their first meeting, so that nomination will be considered and confirmed at the working group's next meeting. Thank you.
Can I invite the leader to propose the recommendation under item 17 of the agenda and then seek a seconder?
Right, okay, so this is to the committees and boards. So that's the long list that we have in front of us there. Okay, one very tiny amendment, if I can, just before we do that. In the licensing committee, the Labour team will be, Naomi Smith will be acting as vice chair and not Keji Moses. But otherwise, absolutely, same numbers on there. If you're happy with that, we'd go for that. Okay, so the council, my pleasure now to propose that the council appoint members together with chairs and vice chairs where required to the committees and boards as set out in the supplement.
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
And I believe this can be noted by general assent if we don't have any objections. That's carried. Thank you. I'd now like to ask the council to note the multi-agency partnership nominations as set out in the agenda. And if there's no objections, can we agree that by general assent? Thank you, everybody. Item 19, I'd now like to ask the leader to propose and seek a seconder that the council approve the scheme of delegation to officers and set out in Part 8 of the Constitution.
Pleasure, Lord Mayor. So I propose that the council approve the scheme of delegation of officers as set out in Part 8 of this Constitution. Thank you.
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
And if we do not have any objections, we can again do that by general assent. That's carried. Thank you, everybody. We now move on to item 20, appointments of the proper officer. I'd now like to ask the leader to propose and seek a seconder that the council approve the appointment of proper officer as set out in Part 8 of the Constitution.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Council, I'd like to propose to the council that the council approve the appointment of proper officers as set out in Part 8 of the Constitution.
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
And again, if we do not have any objections, we can agree that by general assent. Thank you. That is carried. And we now move on to item 21, Programme of Meetings of the Council Year 2026-27. I'd now like to ask the leader to propose and seek a seconder that the Programme of Meetings of the Council Year 26-27 as now reported be approved and adopted.
Yes, thank you, Lord Mayor. Obviously, we talked about this the other day, and I've asked you all to get it in your diaries. It's now going to formally approve that. So the programme, I'd like to propose that the programme meetings of the council for the council year 26-27 is now reported and be approved as now reported and be approved and adopted.
Seconded, Lord Mayor.
And I believe we can again agree that by general assent if there are no objections. And that is carried. Thank you. Now move on to item 22. Any other urgent business to be dealt with on the night? There's no other urgent business. So thank you for coming. This meeting is now closed, and I look forward to seeing you at the Beanie. Thank you.